Well, we're on the way to the flea markets, but I got distracted by an estate sale. The house is down below here. Apparently, this is a merge of two different houses. They had one in an obscure location and brought it here. We've done that before in our estate sale business. It's a great way to get more diversity, and frankly, people don't care where it came from as long as there's cool stuff to see. All right, I think the Fiesta came in from outside because of where they have it in the house. There's even pattern pieces. These are all newer colors. Newer being since 1986, though. Some of these colors are discontinued. I like the napkin holder. Ooh, there's a big boy there. That'd be fun to fill with change. Good price, really. I like the newer colors. I really only look for the discontinued ones, particularly lilac. That's a good color. They said at the door there was a lot of art that was done by the owner of this house, so we'll take a look at that. Let's see what this pottery is. Cheryl Van Hearn. I don't know this studio artist, but I understand that this person was involved with an art league, so I imagine that there's other artist pieces too.
Grumman's Chinese Theater. Oh, Hawaii. United Air.
Oh, the famous Lux Minute Minder timer in a wonderful pink color. These have been made since the 1950s and really up until very recently.
Some little Wade figurines. I like the Halloween guy. We'll pick that one. Nice mahogany chest with the wreath pulls from about 1940. They want $70. That's a good price.
The idea of making country music appeal to pop fans is nothing new. Chet Atkins took the fiddle and steel guitars out of country music to make it appeal to teenagers back in 1960 with this album.
Alabaster fruit for $4 is cheap enough. Some things seem to be gone because we got here a little late, but I'll tell you, we're seeing some stuff. Ah, the table sold. Wish I knew how much. These tables are not the easiest sale anymore, but they certainly have a lot of utility and it could open up to be much larger. There's even a free box. All right, let's see what this is. I don't exactly recognize it. Carson. $20 on the large bowl. I think some of these colors are kind of attractive. I like the little piece here, although it looks like they blocked it out in some way they didn't intend to necessarily. Let's see what this looks like. Yeah, $20. If I knew more about this maker, it is sort of interesting looking. The quality seems good. They want $50 for this. These were very popular in the late 80s, and people think they're interesting because of the heart-shaped cutouts. Crystal Darks. $10 per box. I think that's about what we got at the last sale we did with these. Made in France, good quality, but there are a lot of them around. Ah, St. Thomas Virgin Islands. That's a treasure craft piece from a different place that we're used to seeing. United Airlines. I've noticed a bunch of United stuff around here. I suspect somebody worked for them at one time. Too bad they don't have more with the old logo. Little bit of candle wick up here, the relish of the handled bowl. There is the Fenton piece that goes with those candlesticks. So for $8 I can have the whole console set. I think for that price we'll take it. Does not have the Fenton name on it, but they didn't all at this point in the 70s. I see one of these acrylic trays. That's actually a better color than usual. They're generally black. Pacific Ocean. Yeah, they were made on both coasts. Is this melted though? I think it's just dirty. Old Bisquick canister from about 1980. That was a mail away. A bunch of the Spice of Life. Right, well this house is bigger than it looks. It has a downstairs. Royal Copenhagen. Aftershave, a good price. 70s era shelf unit for a bathroom. All right, let's see what's in the book section. Nothing particularly old. We'll just make sure this Clinton is not signed because he did actually sign a lot of these and they're worth a little bit if they're signed, but this one is not. The little fish ring holder is cute for $2 with the rhinestone eyes. Let's see what we have in here. Silbos eau de toilette. $2. Pretty dusty. Betty Boop lip gloss. Cute but fairly recent lacquerware piece with the koi. These were not terribly well made. The lids are very floppy. Sonic hair, a Blackbird hair dryer, just useful stuff. An Afghan with fringe. 1940s lamp table. $200 on the sewing machine. Well, it looks like it's in great shape, and it's got the cabinet and the bench. This old piece was repainted. It's an attractive enough combination, but I'm not such a fan of repainting unless something is really in bad shape already. Bunch of stamp books. These are these ones that are collected for particular themes, and the only ones that sell for much are the duck stamps, but they want $60 because it has the signed print along with the stamp. Not really a bargain price. I don't want to go too crazy. Plus, this is a giant edition of 22,000, so they're not exactly hard to find. Lamps. Penguin figure here. Let's see who did this. Coast Boda. Says so right on it. And they want $5. Well, I think we'll get that. Edition print. Continental Cargo. Somebody definitely worked for the airlines. $2 on that hat. That's probably worth it. Credential billfold. That's a good price for just a regular reseller. Hey, look, it's a hat that actually fits me and I have any business wearing. Painted milk glass lamps are older, but not an easy sell for me. Boots and shoes. Old typewriter is $40. The Royal Aristocrat. Some of these book series sell. They're only $1 each, so the prices are certainly good. 70s era desk. America's March to Freedom, $200. Well, I suspect this is another stamp album. Yeah, this has all the bicentennial era stamps in it. But boy, there are a lot of these. Golden replica stamps. These just are not very collectible, unfortunately. Works of Dickens, Bacon, etc. GE radio is kind of a retro-looking thing now. Well, vintage, I should say. Retro to me means something that's trying to look old that isn't. We are headed downstairs. More exciting finds. Virgin Island, that's cool. Tupperware bread box for $4. Floral version of this, as opposed to the cornflower blue you see all over the place. Handle looks secure. Artists beware. I guess the lady of the house had something to do with the art community here. Cute little table, $5. I've already got a bunch of chrome tables right now, though. This looks like a studio pottery piece. Do not recognize the signature. Another studio piece. Let's look at this one. Nothing identifiable about that. Cute edition prints, but nothing really important to me. You'll never find. Oh, I think this is another blue sky pottery piece. $10. Yes, there's the second piece. Very cute. Lots of things to break. Japanese art history. That might be a book worth having, especially because they're only $1 unless marked otherwise. So let's take a look. This should show ukiyo-e, but also figural pieces, ancient pieces, royal pieces. Let's see if we get into ukiyo-e. There's the Dutch influence when they start having more trade with the West. I actually have a number of art books that are probably worth getting at this price and then selling online. Ah yes, here's the art room. Framing room. Supplies. $4 each for some of her loose leaf watercolors. Eileen is the name. Certainly bright and happy, and I noticed that she had a number of pieces that she liked well enough to frame and hang as well. Like this. But I think she only displayed in a few local galleries and is not of fame. Ooh, the Candle Factory. That's right out of the early 80s. The Ronco Rhinestone and Stud Setter. Wow. Some of these sell online for $25 and some for $8 and $10, and it doesn't seem to have anything to do with anything other than who's bidding that day. Now this is a neat antique piece here. Very thin, but useful with lots of drawers. They're asking $75. Well, let's see if it's really antique. It does seem to be. Yes, contact paper aside, this is probably from about 1890 or 1900. And it looks like they have a pair. The bed has a nice older look, but is actually more contemporary. And then there's a very handsome piece of furniture. Lots of turnings, candle stands with mirrors, a big full-length mirror so that you can see yourself. Hello, everyone. Oh boy, gotta brush my hair. All right, it's garage. Mexican crush is cute. Ah, this is when they're right at the transition away from the wood, and it doesn't have any of the balls, but that's cool otherwise. This looks like leftovers. The United Airlines ski lift, wow. A little damaged, but that's cool out of the 70s. This bag was not stored well. Yeah, one of the wardrobe bags. Too bad this has been stored so badly. I don't know whether that would clean up. Well, for an unexpected stop, I ended up with some things. Pretty happy about it, actually. The best buy was this, interestingly enough, worth about $40 online.
We found a vintage sale. It is an annual sale. It's been going on for 16 years, and it is at the clubhouse at the Port Madison Indian Reservation. Well, this appears to be the place.
I have never been to the Indianola clubhouse. Well, this isn't a really big place, but it looks like they've got some fun stuff, so we're going to look around. Now, here's some genuinely old clothes, pretty tattered, but right out of the 19-teens and 20s. I've sold some wood blocks lately. That's paid. We're looking for things that are maybe advertising that are interesting. Meerschaum pipe is handsome. There is a beard for you. This one wasn't really smoked in much. It feels fairly light. I think this is, yeah, probably mid-20th century. A little bit of Mexican jewelry and some silver jewelry here. This is a neat piece. It's 1930s. I wanted to say that Chase made this originally, but it's not in very good shape. Neither is that poor bird. Big old jailer keys. People like these just for the novelty. $5 each is a pretty good price, especially this giant one here. I think I might take that for $5. Marine ivory. There's a walrus tusk and some teeth. These dolls are by Kathy Jones of Alaska, showing Inuit families. I like the tray underneath with the deer in silhouette, that you can see where it's starting to separate from the glass, and that's not good. Big old umbrella. A little bit of jewelry. And we have some cameos. This does appear to be carved shell. The details are okay, and it's $20, which is actually pretty reasonable. I think I might take her. I'm really low on cameos right now. This one is later 20th century because it's convertible into a necklace as well. Let's see what this one looks like. Has some little seed pearls and maybe a missing rhinestone or two. And that one they only have priced at $10. Her detail is not very good though. Then this one appears to be Victorian in glass, and it's a locket. And that's $20. I might take that too. Let's see if there's anything in the locket. Oh, lo and behold, there's a picture of someone's beloved. That's very cute. It's losing some of the finish though. That may make it a tough sell. And that is a big pair of longhorns. You could do a big old car with that. And there's a washstand pitcher and bowl. Transferware, and they look English. Sheraton, Adderley's company, yes. That's out of England from about 1900. Okay, this front table here, a nice piece of needlepoint. Scrabble letters. $2.50 for 24. Silver plate utensils, $1 each for your projects.
You're still here? I know.
Lots of linens.
This is very cute. To my mother. Little late for Mother's Day, but maybe next year. The primitive drawers sold. Let's see if we see a price. 45. Wow, that was a good deal. A Matryoshka bear. $5. Looks a little damaged on the top, though. Some 1940s, 50s era planters. This is a pottery company whose logo I have not seen before, actually. I like the birds, $15. It's been planted in, though. This one is made in California, probably a McCulloch. $15 on these neat sculpted blocks from about 1940 that all interlock. This looks like John B. Taylor from Louisville Stoneware. Oh, how neat.
Yeah, with tackle.
Yeah, oh, very cool.
Rail.
Bamboo rod and everything, yeah.
3-part bamboo rod.
Neat.
And all these little itsy bitsy lures.
Yes, that's so cool. I like this case because it's got the compass in it. So when you're snooping, you can tell which direction you're snooping in. There's no binoculars in it. These prints were from Northern Tissue in 1964. You would send off for them. And there were 4 for the 4 seasons. This little guy is cute. Lunenburg, Nova Scotia, made in Japan, however, for Shafford around 1950. Stangl Blueberry Bowl. That's a nice price for that size, only $28. See who this cat is. Can't really tell. American, but I don't know who made that one. Okay, some newer quilts. Here's a clever reuse. Take the old wool sweaters that have gotten worn out or pilled and turn them into bags. These are made from vintage men's shirts. Those are neat. A little bit of paper ephemera here. Oh yes, the toy watches. All on their original card. These weren't really made to run, they were just made to be fun for kids to wear. $32 for the original store display. Minnesota Territory, 1851. $5 each. These are nicely kept.
Well, I did like the jewelry kind
And I like the flowers with cutout edges. And now some of my kind of jewelry.
Yeah.
Let's see how much these are. $7 and $6. That's a pretty good price for the pair of those from the late 30s. And let's see what the prices on the jewelry are. $6. The center's a little out on that.
Yeah, I think like
This looks fun. It's a clip, but it looks like it's lucite. $3 on that one. Well, we'll take that for sure. $5 on the brooch. I don't really like the silver. It makes it look cheap. That's an interesting wreath. That one's kind of cute, and gee, only $2. Yeah, I think we'll take that too. Clip earrings. You know, this is all just fun fashion jewelry, but the prices are right for me. Lots of little powder tufts, cold cream, miniatures, and then some really neat bark cloth. Let's see what the prices are on this. $30 for this, and it's 4 to 8 yards by 45 inches. And then the big one, which is the drapery, says it's as is and 25. It would depend where the as is. If it's near the bottom, it could be cut off and turned into upholstery. Threadbare there. Chewed aprons.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Feel free to.
Oh, that's sweet. Oh, this is full. The glass bar with the original tag from the 50s. And I wanted to show this as Last Rites Pieta Shadow Box. We see these from time to time. It has everything you need for your altar.
Well, no, you want a bag. When I have a bag, there's maybe.
How to draw dogs. Ease me again in 2025. Yes, the calendar does repeat.
This looks like an interesting scrapbook here. Triumphant Life, Essexville, Michigan. Lots of greeting cards. Another scrapbook here. Here's what we're looking for. Okay, that's a star photo, so it's Red Ryder, but it's not actually signed by the star. However, it makes us think it might be fun to look through the rest of this real quickly. Mostly newspaper clippings of animals, okay. United Airlines, but it looks like the Red Ryder is the only thing in there that's really interesting to me. Salts and peppers, more money than I want to spend. This is cute. Cigarette holder with penguins. Japanese from the 30s, I'm sure. Yep. $12. All right, we've got andirons here. The old KitchenAid in avocado for $110. KitchenAids are money. That's actually pretty good. Wade's, I just bought that one yesterday. The Bosun's fish dish. But I'm not really seeing anything that's up my alley here. Well, that was short but sweet. I only found a few things, but they were jewelry items and the prices were really good. People keep saying you're showing all these wonderful, beautiful beauty spots in Washington State, and I thought it rained all the time. Well, here's what it looks like on one of the rainy days. This is a rainy, foggy beach in Washington on Puget Sound.
On the other hand, these days keep everything nice and green.
All right, we're gonna get to that flea market eventually, but I just picked up some vintage posters and the person I got it from said I should check this place out because a bunch of people were having sales. And they have Sasquatches in their front yard. Curry art glass for $54. Fun embroidered tea cozy. Probably done in the 1940s or 50s, and you would put that over your teapot to keep things hot on the table. $40. Now this is a very pretty glass bowl under here. This looks like it's late Victorian. You can see some etching that's sort of ghost that was gold in the middle there. $45. It's a shame it's lost some of that gold, but it is a very pretty piece. It's beveled on two sides. If it was beveled on the third side, I'd say it was Mosher. I think it's a different Bohemian maker instead, but that's very attractive. They still make these, of course, but the Acornis Stressless is a very popular chair design. This one's only $400. It's about $250 less than they sell for. This plate is a pretty hand-painted piece by Taylor Smith Taylor. They didn't do a lot of hand-painted work. That's from about 1940. And they're calling it a folk art pattern. 1938 date code. These are reproductions. One clue is that there's 4 of them in the same space. Another clue is that they're a lot lighter than they should be for being cast iron, and they are painted brown on the back to make them look older than they are. Not very crisp in the detail either. The big paint bowl with the handles here is Manhattan glass in the pink. Harder to find in the pink. $30 is a good price. This is a Moreau Aurora bronze. This is a 20th century version, but she's very pretty at $4.99. The jouster here is a Limoges piece. It has a heavy enameling that might make you think it was on metal, but it actually is on porcelain. This is cool. This is Padre pottery out of California. You don't see this so often. This is a 1930s piece. The double cornucopia vase is interesting for $16.50. I have always liked Cornish ware. It was made for a long period of time. The blue and white stripes are the distinctive feature. This one is late enough to have a rubber gasket for a seal, so probably 1970s or 80s. And there's the mark that they had at that point. $22 is a good price on that, actually. And then these are cute. They would be a nice go-along. In the calico, these are Japanese from the 1950s. Look how cute this is, turned into a display. It's a lighted case. The case isn't old, but what I like is down here where they have turned it into the grocery store. And the grocery store is really cool. They're only asking $48 for all of those packages and the 2 recipe boxes that they have made into the platform there. Here's a Vernon Kilds pattern. We don't see that often. I love the tab handle bowls. And this is called Shadow Leaf. Looks like a storm happening there. 1940s era. Artistic Potteries of California made this bird. They were basically, essentially stealing the design from a very good Czech Deco era maker. I say stealing, but by then probably Czechoslovakia had been occupied by the Nazis, and they were just making something they knew would sell that was no longer available. $25 on that. This cranberry Murano dish looks like a big pair of lips. $45. Well, there are pixies and sprites galore down here. This is a Treasure Craft wee one, but the face has been messed up. This one in the back is as well. His face was never thoroughly painted, but that could be fixed. $24. This one is a different company, Gilner, from about 1950. And then this one, Barrel o' Money, $32. That is by Left in China, and it's going to date to the late 60s. Nice little rattan table here from the 70s. This one's priced at $120. I like this exotic bird vase here. $40 is their price. Has a lustrous finish to it. Done in New Westminster, BC in 1940 by Edith Brogren. For an amateur, this is really very precisely done. Rather impressive. Yes, Carmichael. I knew the Carmichaels, and I loved the way she did this. It was very clever. It always involved books and cats. And this one is the mystery cat, because they're all mysteries. And this one is the one that my mother had. It says, protecting the guilty. And who's guilty of what? Well, there's a clue right there. Thermoware with the burlap. This is just about every piece that you could get. The tumblers, the pitcher, which they want 24, and the ice bucket for 25. Great colors on the tumblers. They have plastic liners, of course. They're asking 40 for the set of 6. Westmoreland Blue Daisy Fairy Lamp is $32. And I see markdowns in here. They're having a moving sale. I think this is the one I was referred to. Tomato dish here is marked down to, am I reading that right? $30, and it's Brad Keeler. That's a pretty good price for a Brad Keeler dish. Is due to tend to sell for a premium. This is a World War I commemorative from Royal Copenhagen, saying, with God for honor and right. Let's take a look at that up close. This is an interesting shape. 1914. The King's Example or Model. Well, I'm looking online, and this one I can't find at all, and this one actually sells for about $30. They have it marked down to $10, so I'm going to take them both and give them a chance. $10 on the Majolica plate. That's an awfully cheap price. It does have a chip. That's pretty with the irises. $18 now. Some more Royal Copenhagen. $45 on the woman with the cat. And the children with the dog is $35. Those are good prices. Listerine and eye lotion. $10. The colors are just wonderful on these. They are older and hand painted. I don't know that anyone's putting Listerine in them though. Some Swedish folk art wooden figures here in the $30 range each primarily. I love the Vienna art trays. This one's a little scraped. It's $30. This one has a little bit of damage. This one's in good shape, but it's $50. Kurok butterfly marked down to $15. That's a pretty good deal. And I like the unusually shaped Bovano enamel tray for $25. Well, Sasquatch had good things for me. We finally made it to the flea market. This was an old Pontiac dealership in Bremerton for many years, and it's right near downtown. They have this every Saturday. It would usually be bigger, but they had a parade and they had rain, so we'll see what's left. You gotta love this lamp. If you like mid-century at all, it's a great design with the fiberglass shade. Cute little table underneath it. I've been to this flea market a couple of times. Did find some good things to buy. Old Silvertone radio down there is nice too.
Really like this mirrored shadow box. They want $250, but I've never seen it with the printed burlap before. It seems like this is the permanent section. The flea market dealers who might be here with just random stuff that would be the cheap stuff they brought from home, well, they're not here this weekend. Alaskan gold miner for $48. The two flamingo trays are 1980 sarsaparilla. Well, let's see what we have in here. I'm always impressed when people can pile a bunch of random stuff. I mean, there's obviously a nautical theme here, but they make it look good. And somehow it is shoppable, even though it looks like a big pile. This is what a maximalist decorator does well. A bunch of uranium glass water stems. You don't see much in water size from the Depression era, so that's a nice thing to see. Linens. And this is really fun. I always like these napkin dolls, or I'm not sure what you would call this, but it's very sweet the way it's done from about 1940. Wheaties. If you eat a good breakfast, the breakfast of champions, well, you'll end up like Bob Feller and be able to pitch a fastball 110 miles an hour. At least that was the hope back in the 50s when these were made. Up here with the novelty stuff is this chef who would have held toothpicks or stir sticks. He's $10. He's got a great face. I presume this is Japanese, but there is no mark. A couple of great panthers and lions, including this one down here, which is a cool lamp. It needs a fiberglass shade, but he is great.
You can like kind of make your own little backdrop.
Yep. Well, it is definitely the kind of thing we see in a lot of vintage spaces now, where it's a mix of some collectible things, a lot of things that are older, some things that are retro. This is a very curious bottle here, $10. And you'll have things that are true antiques, like this English ginger beer crockery bottle. Fenton custard bell with its original price tag, $5 back around 1970. The whole jarts game, $250. Of course, we can't sell those online unless you pretend there's nothing in it. Big old Fender acoustic guitar with its box. The Starcaster. $135. Ah, yes, the Western Washington Fair is a big deal. Also known as the Puyallup because it's in Puyallup. Back in the day, they were sponsored by Winston Cigarettes, at least the rodeo was. Can't do that nowadays, of course. This is priced at $125. It is double-sided. Nice to see a Formica set, but wow, $700. These are not cheap anymore, and this one needs reupholstery. Pink sink looks just like the one in my bathroom in Seattle. You'll also see purses, some vintage fashion, some resale fashion. Oh, I remember these coats made of rabbit fur. This is from about the late 70s, because in Bremerton here, all the prostitutes wore these. Skipper and scooter box from the 60s. The card cameo shell is beautiful, $225, mounted on the cork base. This is a fabulous TV lamp. Hager sailfish, priced at $135. This Waterbury clock has its original box. People do like things in original boxes. Well, for one thing, it gives you an indication that the condition's probably really good. Whoops, until I drop it on the floor. It's got the original instructions, and there it is. We're bound to see a lot of nautical themed things in Bremerton because it's a Navy town. This is a Welby thermometer made in Germany in the 1930s. They have 45 on that. You'll also see a lot of Hawaiian things because a lot of people were stationed there. Now this is Santa Anita ware made in California, but it has the anthurian flowers on it. And this is the one that was turned into a centerpiece goal. They're asking $75 for that. Wow, lots of pixies. The one with the leaf hat, I believe, is a Gilner from the late 40s, early 50s. You see Japanese ones with the pointy ears from the 60s. You see Homeco from the 70s. And all these little devils. And yes, there's one Treasure Craft Sprite. And they want $17, which is about the typical price. Definitely have the Pyrex too. I like the dots.
Friendship bird, of course, is great. They want $2.25 for the set, but you know, that's what they're selling for these days. Merry mushrooms. Definitely a 70s kitchen look here. Tons of Fire King jadeite. 18 a piece on cups and saucers. These are all pretty much retail prices here. Okay, the rustic relic shop here. They've got Hager. This is an interesting Francoma pedestal. You don't see the pedestal much at all. This would have had a big bowl that sat on top of it. $45 if you had the other piece is actually a pretty good deal. This looks like a Bauer gloss pastel from the late 30s. Ray Murray, who designed a lot of the Treasure Craft Hawaii items, also did this line for Bauer earlier. Egg scale. I bought one. It sold immediately. This one's $60. This is a fun TV lamp I've never seen before with the couple. That looks like something that would be the very, very beginning of TV lamps. I mean, it actually looks more like a 1930s design, but it's definitely a TV lamp style. $40. It used to be that was a great price on this. I still think it's a pretty good price. This is another K Finch. And if you couldn't tell by the color, the eyelashes, that's the clue. This is from the old Metro buses in Seattle. They would have used these as late as about 1990, and then they removed them because now you get prepaid fares and transfer tickets and all that. This is priced at $200. A lot of people use them as banks now. Okay, then we're coming into the antique section, and there's a sale going on somewhere, wherever Space 100 is, so we'll look for that. Right, well, you know I like shopping half off space, so we're going to take a look and see if we see anything that is up our alley. The old railroad lantern is a cool piece. It's been turned into a lamp. I always like this little drip cup syrup with the painting of the poppy. That would be $11. That's a pretty fair price. It's a little stuck though. Takes some cleaning. Well, this is pretty. Spode's Jewel. They also have it marked Spode's Claudia. But I know this is Jewel. It's a very pretty pattern. A few little scratches, but that's very economical. Here's some flashy shoes like my mother would have worn about 1970. Complete with rhinestones. There's even a motorcycle tucked in under there. And there's a very neat shawl on top of it. Chinese tablecloth that reminds me a lot of the old piano shawls. I always thought these were kind of cute. They're Bjorn Windblad. There's the signature. This is for Nimole. He did one for each month. Optimism. Okay, well, it says Mercantile and Marketplace. And while the Flea is in the back, this whole building that used to be the Pontiac dealer is now antiques and vintage. 3 more TV lamps. The Carriage, which is by Buckingham Ceramics. The Dancers, and then the Mallard. This is a little different coloration than the usual ones that we see. What a fun mid-century lamp this is. Looks like it could be hung on a wall as well. Tippet is a game made by Wolverine that made the metal cars and other toys. And the idea is you roll the dice and then you tip it and you figure out what your score is. Abacus lamps. Popular thing in the 70s. There is the entire set of 8 Seattle World's Fair glasses that you got at the gas stations. The full collection has 2 Space Needles, along with the other attractions. This is fun how they've turned this into a travel bar, a needle metal foot locker. Very clever. And they have taken an old radio that didn't work and put a Bluetooth speaker in it so you can actually use it. That's a cool idea. These are really cool too, old stand-up radios where the innards didn't work. And look how they have used them. One of them they've turned into a record stand. And one of them they've turned into a bar. This is very clever, I have to say. A good use for these because not everybody has the finances to redo one of these. It's hard to find people who do that anymore. And the cattail floor lamp, that's pretty neat. We really usually just see these with plain tops, not the cattail. And this one is priced at $175, which is actually not a bad price for that piece. What do you say, Humphrey? Time to make a quick dart through one last estate sale. It's already on huge discount. It's the last day. We're near the end.
There might be nothing left. We're going to find out. Well, this is Barrett Estate Sales, and they said that they do these a lot. Of course, I'm coming in literally 20 minutes before the very end of the estate sale, so may not see the kind of things we saw at the beginning. There were some fun old things in their ad, but I will definitely look for their estate sales in the future. Most all the old stuff is gone, but this Art Deco dresser and chest of drawers are still here. And I really like this one in particular because it has peach colored glass for the surface. Peach colored glass is something we see a lot in the late 30s, but only for a few years. Prices are great. 75% off. This is $50. And this one, the discount is $37.50. Wish I had room. This little oak washstand commode is sold from about 1900. And this little piece here also sold. That was Barrett Estates, and boy, they did a good job clearing out the antique and vintage stuff. And so this is the only one I've gone empty-handed from, but that's because I came late. They had some cool stuff.
If you enjoyed this video, check out this one. Also, click thumbs up to like this video and check the description for information about our Patreon, our memberships. We've got a lot of different levels with different perks and bonus videos and early content. Also, please do check out our website, theantiquenomad.com, for appraisal help. And we'll see you again for more adventures in the antique and vintage community soon. Bye for now.